Hello, welcome to the Level 20 Lounge for Level 20 Sports Line. Got a great crowd tonight. Got a great show for you. We brought back a couple of our winning boxers that we had last week. Got a couple of beautiful young girls. We got an author. We've got Marty Galosi, the athletic director for Robert Morris. We've got a great show for you. We're going to start off, as we always do, with What's on Your Mind. Al, what's on your mind?
What's on my mind is $7 burger and fries at Level 20. I have to at least do one infomercial before I get started. I don't have any charity events going on right now. So I want to thank Colin and Tracy for having us here. Thanks to the crowd here. They look like they're eating and drinking a whole lot of food. There's a lot of smiling faces. So remember Level 20. Thanks for having our show here. What's on my mind is Pitt football. How did Pitt beat Rutgers? All of a sudden, we're thinking Sunseri's not that good of a quarterback. Well, I still don't think he is. His stats may look that way, but here Rutgers didn't show up for the game, so I don't know what's going on there. And that's what's on my mind. Short and sweet tonight, Mike.
Thanks, Al. Smoking Jim Frazier, what's on your mind?
Hey, thanks, Magic Mike. First of all, I'd like to extend a warm welcome to Miss Heather Tate. She does a lot of boxing with us and fills in as a co-host. And I'm wearing the Ohio State jacket. There's only two undefeated teams in college football, Notre Dame and Ohio State. Boy, that'd have made for a great national championship. So maybe we'll see it next year. Iron Mike Ditka. It only took Iron Mike Ditka 24 hours to fully recover from a stroke. How long is it going to take Troy Polamalu to recover from a calf injury? Listen, before the season, I took a lot of heat on KDKA radio when I said the Pittsburgh Steelers would go 8-8 this year. The reason that I said that mainly is because the Pittsburgh Steelers got a lot of brittle brothers on their team. Hey, listen, for example, Byron Leftwich, brittle brother. Hey, listen, Mendenhall, Redmond, Dwyer, brittle. My man Willie Colon got hurt yesterday. He was out the last 2 years, full season with injuries, brittle. I love Ponce. Ponce's probably the best center in the game, brittle. How about Mike Adams? Mike Adams is softer than a Dairy Queen ice cream cone. Listen, I've never seen a 6'6", 300-pound guy get taken off on a stretcher because he twisted his ankle. How about Marcus Gilbert? What's wrong with Marcus Gilbert? He hasn't played in 3 or 4 weeks. What's wrong with him? Other than being a 350-pound slob, listen, I think Marcus Gilbert is prejudiced against his own people. Marcus Gilbert will not play until Big Ben Roethlisberger's in there. He loves Big Ben Roethlisberger. At 350 pounds, he likes anything with burger in it. Hey, listen, I told you guys before last week, Steelers will not win another Super Bowl until they get another Mexican player. Listen, Mexican players can teach the African Americans, the Caucasians, and the Samoans how to play with a little injury.
Thanks, Jim. I love that you're in this spot. Jim, what's on your mind?
I'm telling you what, you make it harder and harder every week for me, Jim. I follow a tough act here. Well, first off, I'd like to give a little shout out to the WPIAL champions this week. Aliquippa won its 15th WPIAL championship. That's a state record. North Allegheny won. Claret set a record, 60 wins in a row, a state record, and good luck to them on their way to the states. And West Allegheny pulled out a win. But once again, we've got goings on in the NFL and Roger Goodell and the way he hands down punishments. And it seems like the Detroit Lions are getting a reputation for Thanksgiving entertainment. Nottingham Sioux kicked Matt Schaub in the nether regions on national TV, and initially he's suspended, then they're going to decide, well, maybe not suspending him, maybe that's not a suspendable offense, being that he's a repeat offender, and they're just going to fine him, and that just absolutely mystifies me. But there's again Roger Goodell, rules his fiefdom with no sense or reason. And one last thought I have is I want to give a shout out to Jeffrey Loria. He is the owner of the Miami Marlins. And, you know, he's had a fire sale in Miami, and he took $424 million from the Miami taxpayers, promising them, if you build me a stadium, I'll buy you a winning team. And, well, he sold the team off, and I think the only way that he could offend the people in Little Havana any more than he already has is if he would have Fidel Castro come out and throw the first pitch.
Thanks, Chip. Egypt's ruler, Mohamed Morsi, has declared himself total control. He has no limitations. Everybody says that Morsi wants to be the next Pharaoh. That's not true. Morsi wants to be the next Roger Goodell. Right? He wants total control over his sport, just like Goodell has total control over his own sport. Yeah, there's suspensions that he hands out. They're taken away. He hands them out again. He fines people. What Sue did was pretty cheap, pretty disgusting. You got players kicking other players in the head while they're down on the ground. Something has to be done, though. So a guy has to take total control of his sport. Another sport that there's absolutely no control going on right now is the NHL. The union and the owners can't get their act together because, well, the owners want to give the players only 50% of what they make, and the players want 57% of what the league brings in, and neither side will budge on it. Again, as always, I blame this on Donald Fair because he was a garbage union head for the Major League Baseball Players Union, and he's a garbage union head for the NHL Players Union. Unions will destroy hockey just like they destroy everything else that they touch. So, you know, don't plan on watching any hockey this year, well, unless you're watching college hockey, and we will talk about that a little bit later today.
Absolutely.
And on a, I guess, sadder note, Hector Macho Camacho was shot and eventually died from his injuries this past week. Camacho, not one of my favorite boxers, but the one fight that I did want to see him win, he did win, knocking out Sugar Ray Leonard. So, you know, it's a surprise that that these guys, to what they do, again, like actually no surprise to hear that Hector Camacho has been shot, because that's the lifestyle that he lived. When you get involved with drugs and stuff, doesn't matter if you're a world champion boxer, how much money you have, the people you're dealing with are not good people. And, you know, things like that happen. Tonight, however, we've got two great young fighters that we'll talk to a little bit about that. And as far as, you know, we've seen so far, these two guys are upstanding citizens. They're great people, great young men, and I think you'll enjoy, you know, hearing what they have to say tonight.
Actual role models.
There you go. In sports, imagine that. Well, speaking of you know, up-and-coming people, we've also got two outstanding young girls here. The Velasquez sisters, Lana and Marlo. Girls, come on up and sit down. We'll talk a little bit about what you've got going on. Hi. Camera's up here. You want to look at the camera when you talk. It's been around there. And, well, first tell us your names.
I'm Lana Velasquez. I'm Marlo Velasquez.
And Lana is 11 years old and Marlo 13. We actually did a photo shoot today and got some very, very good pictures. Talk a little bit about what you've done so far as your modeling career.
Well, when I was really little, I was in my first commercial, and then after that I became a cheerleader. And then I had my first photo shoot, and then now I had my next photo shoot, which you took, and it was very good.
Thank you. What was your commercial?
Oh, it was a car commercial for, I don't remember what the car was, but
I'm sure they'll be glad to hear that.
Was it a nice car?
I don't know. I was really little.
And Marlo, how about you?
I did a commercial in Kennywood. For a non-smoking thing.
Okay, is that it? What else have you done?
The same commercial as her, the car one. It was for AutoZone.
Great.
Ah,
There
nice.
you go.
You two make a good team. Team Vasquez.
And what would you like to do next?
I'd like to be more of a model. Yeah, I want to keep modeling.
Great. Great. Well, we're also going to have your mom come up because she's wrote a really good book. Thanks for coming on.
Thank
and,
you.
It was
Nice
great
to meet you
to
two
having you
young
here.
ladies.
And we'll keep track of what you're doing.
All right.
Best
thank
of
Good
you.
luck to you.
Futures.
Good job. Good job.
This is Jody Velasquez, Lana and Marlo's mother. Jody's written a book that is targeting players, NFL or pro athletes that are moving from city to city. It's kind of a guide on how to get settled into your new places. Jody, tell us a little bit about how you got that idea that you wanted to write this and some of the things that you've done as far as getting it out to the other teams and such.
I wrote an original Slick Move guide in 2008, and I started selling it to some of the sports teams in the area. And there was a need to kind of customize it for relocating rookies and athletes. So we worked together and we changed a little bit about the book, added new stuff. We took some things out and we relocated some stuff that was very important to the front. And it has a lot of great information in it for relocating athletes.
Okay. When we talked earlier, you talked a little bit about some of the problems that athletes, especially guys that like are rookies that are on their first team and make their first bunch of money, some of the problems that they encounter.
Right. Security is really important. Anytime you move to a new city, security is very important. But if you're kind of famous and you're making a lot of money, it's even more important, especially if you're leaving town to go play another team. So security was one of the things that we put into the book. Other things like buying a home and making sure that you get an inspector. A lot of them have a lot of money, so they pay cash and they don't get an inspector. So that can cause a problem. And you want your athletes to be happy. If they're going through something traumatic like that, it could affect them on the field or what they're doing. So it's got great information in it, and it's even great for the wives. If the players are too busy and the wives are doing the relocating, it's really good for the wives and family, girlfriends, whatever.
Okay, you said you marketed this with the Steelers and the Browns.
There are quite a few teams over the years that have bought the book. Both the original and the new one is getting popular, but mostly the original one in the past. We've had a lot of teams make purchases.
Great. Any questions, guys?
Where can you get this book?
It is available on Amazon.com, and it's also in Kindle form. So if you have a Kindle, and I think until the end of December, you can actually get it for free for a while because it's in the Kindle Select program. So if you have a Kindle, you can read for free.
And what's the title of it so people know when we broadcast this?
It's the Slick Move Guide. The original one's the Slick Move Guide, and the new one is the Slick Move Guide Professional Athlete Edition.
Sounds very good.
All right, thank you.
Okay, thank
That's
you.
awesome. You saw a need and you filled it. And a lot of these young athletes come into town, they have no idea. They're all starry-eyed and they think,
Right.
I'm getting this big contract. I don't need to worry about where I'm going to live.
Yeah, but they make multiple transitions, and it really can.
Especially if they're not any good.
All right, well, thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Good luck to you.
Seem like the only places the young Steeler players can find us is strip clubs.
Well, speaking of not very good and the Steelers, Jim, I'd like to start with you when these things happen. Tell me what went wrong.
Well,
All right.
Well, what I've been saying all along is when Bill Cowher's players begin to retire, you're going to see the Pittsburgh Steelers turn into the Pittsburgh Pirates, a 500 team. You're starting to see that now. Nothing against Coach Tomlin. I think Coach Tomlin is a great motivator. I've always questioned his ability to coach because he never had to coach. When he came here, they had all of Bill Cowher's players, all of Bill Cowher's coaches, defensive coordinators, the best in NFL history, Dick LeBeau. You had one of the best offensive coordinators of all time. He's winning in Indianapolis, Bruce Arians, so he never had to coach until this year when he fired the special teams coach. That was a blunder move. Yesterday he benched 4 running backs. I thought he was going to be able to put Heath Miller in at tailback because he was running out of running backs. They kept fumbling. Coach Tomlin is making some bad decisions right now that he, for the first time in his career, he had to coach.
Yeah, I thought at halftime he was going to sign Baron Batch off the practice squad. Yeah, and he asked what did the Steelers do wrong yesterday. I think they got off the bus. That was the first mistake they made. I didn't get to see any of the game, but I heard the gruesome details, and in listening to talk shows today, it was quite an embarrassment. The last time the Steelers got embarrassed by the Browns like that was in 1989, and that was towards the end of Chuck Noll's career.
Tim Worley's rookie year.
But I mean, on a positive note, how much worse can it get? I mean, it's got to get better, right?
Yeah, it'll get better next week in Baltimore. It always gets better there.
Yeah.
I'm hopeful, but how do you figure that you have 7 turnovers and you have 2 drives that you can actually win the game on? So if they were that bad, Cleveland's got to be one of the worst teams, and that shows what level we sunk to. I have a theory, like most of us here, we play down to that level, although I thought they could at least win the game by a point, and they were set up to do that. How do you throw the ball like that? What happened with these passes he couldn't even complete? And then another thing, I thought Mike Wallace just disappears during playoffs. The guy's heart isn't in the game because it's quite obvious. If you can see the ball and it's going to be short, a lot of receivers actually help their quarterback out and they'll come back after the ball. Not at all. Look when he fumbled that ball. Did he even try for it? He got down on the ground. I think that's part of the problem. Tomlin become friends with all of these guys, and now he has to make some hard decisions. They got to actually play football for a coach that wants to be in charge.
Well, it's one of the things that's consistent with what the Steelers have done the last 2 weeks. And you know, they got one of the best passing quarterbacks in football in Beth Roethlisberger, and when he's healthy, they throw the ball 20, maybe 24 times, and the Steelers win a lot of football games. And here they put in Leftwich and Batch, and they throw 39 passes last week against Baltimore. They threw 34 passes yesterday. You know, when they were winning 4 games in a row, they were running the ball. They were controlling the time of possession. Yesterday they had the ball for 26 minutes. You know, and to be in a position where they could have won that game as badly as they played only speaks to how lousy a football team that Cleveland is, and that's what really hurts about this loss.
Congratulations to the greatest quarterback in Steeler history, Big Ben Roethlisberger. Just had a son. If I'm the University of Pittsburgh, I'm offering him a scholarship right now.
Hold it. I got to bring up a point on that. Here's the first announcer in public to say congratulations, because I didn't hear it. If Brady had a son, Peyton has a son, or Eli, you know you're going to hear about it. Why were the announcers like, wait, I hear crickets? Who had that baby?
They probably don't care that Roethlisberger had a son.
Bingo.
Like anybody else does. It doesn't matter. And as far as Pitt offered him a scholarship, that's not going to happen because they offered Russell Shell a scholarship, and that's their quota for Pittsburgh area's people.
Yeah, that's true.
For what, years? Yeah. That's about 10 years worth of Pittsburgh signings for Pitt. You know what? The Steelers have a ton of problems, and most of their problems are within their ability to fix. They should not be having 2 50-year-old backup quarterbacks. They need to draft a quarterback, and they need to draft a quarterback in the first round to be Roethlisberger, first his backup for a while, and eventually his replacement. Every other team, what, do you think he's going to play forever? He hardly can play now. All right? He stubs his toe, and he's in the emergency room dying. Well, he dislocates his shoulder, and he's whining about if he moves wrong, his rib's going to puncture his aorta. The only problems that Roethlisberger really has are between his ears. Okay? He's a drama queen. He cracked his jaw on a motorcycle accident, and he's going on and on about if the EMT guys got her 3 seconds later, I'd have been dead. No, if they'd have got you 3 seconds later, you'd have been dumb, and you still are. Okay? He's a garbage quarterback. I don't care what you say, and he'll never, ever be the best quarterback in Steeler history because Terry Bradshaw is better than he is.
And he
Joe
couldn't
Gilliam was better than he is.
Terry Bradshaw couldn't spell cat either.
Well, if you spotted him the C and the T, he had a chance.
Hey, in Pittsburgh, we don't care what their education is. We don't care about their moral character. I mean, Bradshaw, what did he go through? 3 wives, 4 wives? I don't know. All we care about is the W on the field. Big Ben, he protects that offensive line. Yes, I said he protects the offensive line because they block and tackle, and they do not play the offensive line like they should. If we won Super Bowls with guys like that, yes. Hey, we got Castro here. The Castro's going to come up here, so we got a Castro on our team. Maybe he can be the savior up here. Who knows what's going to happen with Baltimore? But look at how you count us out before. Now we lost 2 in a row. It's time to stack those wins, as they call it.
Yeah, well,
Al, I'm sure what you said means something, but the quarterback is not supposed to protect the offensive line. The offensive
You know what?
line
A guy's
is
not
supposed
intelligent.
to protect
Anybody get
him.
up at him?
Okay.
What the heck?
The offensive line is supposed to protect the quarterback, not the other way around. And as far as stacking up the wins, they're not going to start this week. I would imagine the Ravens are going to ruin them this week. They've got they're what, 6-5 right now. Count on 6-6, and you think they're going to win the rest of the way out?
Yes.
I don't think
4
so.
in a row to win. They'll get
so.
into playoffs as a wild card. And first of all, that's called sarcasm. And I'm sorry some people don't get sarcasm. You guys all got it, or some of you, and anybody listen out there. That was purely, straight up Pittsburgh sarcasm. So,
Yeah, we appreciate a joke. We let you talk.
and that's why I like talking to him, because it's so much fun. It's too easy. Chief, tell him how many guys I work with just like that.
Well, you know,
Okay. Thanks, Chief.
You know, and nobody knows right now if Ben's going to play this Sunday, and there's arguments whether he should or whether he shouldn't. But I think one of the best keys to giving Ben a chance to play this week was watching Mike Adams get carted off the field. He hasn't pass blocked well at all this year, and I think if they get a warm body in there, at least the defensive lineman will trip over him.
Hey, now you're talking about my man Max Starks. That's why he's been excellent there. He gets in the way. And who called about Adams being soft, Smoking Jim? That's held up all season.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's right. Well, again, unfortunately, the Steelers cannot live up to the city's nickname, City of Champions. But we've got 2 great champions here, 2 future world champions.
Absolutely.
Sammy, Andreas, please come on up.
Congratulations, gentlemen.
Big weekend for both of you guys. Andreas Cominero, Sammy Vasquez, like I guaranteed last week, these are 2 future world boxing champions. And like I said before, the last time I was wrong was when I told Noah this storm is going to blow over. These guys will be world champions. Let's start with you, Andreas. Tell us a little bit about your fight, how it went, and how it ended.
Well, the fight went well. It was a 4th round knockout. I took my time in the first round. The kid came out. He was pretty tough. A little tougher than I expected. Big guy. Had a little bit of a reach. And he came forward. So I worked my jab, worked my boxing, took my time, made him miss shots. And in the 4th round, I finally made him pay. He missed a lot of shots early.
Fell
But
right
in the
through the
last round,
rough.
I
What
caught
fist
him.
did you hit him with? Show me that fist.
It was the overhand right.
Nice. The gyro right.
That's it.
You have any idea what's next?
We're talking about a fight in February, at the end of February. I'm talking with the Vasquezes, so we'll see what comes up, but I'll be training.
Good for you.
All right.
Good for you.
And that was your first pro fight?
Yeah, my
win?
pro debut, 1-0 with 1 KO.
You retired out.
Sounds good.
That's a nice sound. Many more to that.
Many more to come.
All right, Sammy, you had a fight with a guy that not only had a good record, 6-1, 6 knockouts, but was kind of a trash talker?
Yes, a lot. I guess there was a video on YouTube that was posted of a highlight video of me in my last fight, and supposedly he wrote on there and said he was gonna come, and I never fought a real fighter before, and I'm finally gonna see what a real fighter is. He's Cuban, and he has a lot of power, and he's gonna melt me. Exactly, that's what he said in Spanish. So I had to use the translation, the Google translation to get that. But, so yeah.
How many rounds did he melt you before you knocked him out?
It was only 2 minutes and 27 seconds in the first round.
He kind of went to sleep for a little while, didn't he?
Yeah, it wasn't. You know, that's part of the game. You know, a lot of people trash talk. You know, hype it up a little bit, the fight and stuff like that. So it wasn't an issue that he. You know, I respect him for coming out, and I respected his record. I knew nothing about him. I knew nothing that I was going into. So I appreciate him coming out and trying to defeat me, and it didn't happen obviously, but the thing was, he was also talking trash to my family at the venue there, so which turned it into, a case of, I need to go out there and handle business because, family's first, and, that's the last person you need to talk about.
Right, absolutely. You won the mental battle with him, not only the physical part of it. He wasn't able to get inside your head.
No, not at all.
Good.
How could he get inside your head when you brought a Humvee in there?
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, I saw that. Thanks for sharing the video.
Yeah.
You looked awesome up there.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate it a lot. I appreciate all the fighters in general. I mean, the whole show went great. All the fans were out there. I mean, we had a ton of fans. I mean, that Andreas brought, that Ladowski brought, who also was a fighter, and my fans as well. I mean, all the fighters.
What team is that? What team is that you brought there?
My Team Vasquez.
Oh. Thanks, buddy. You got to promote that. I'm holding your towel here.
There you go.
Andreas, you need one too now.
Yeah.
Yeah, come on.
Definitely.
Well, Jim, you've watched these guys fight for some time.
Well, I tell you what, I'm a big fan of amateur boxing. Miss Heather is with me on amateur boxing, and she's so beautiful. She's about to get a promotion, but I tell you what, I've never seen two better amateur boxers than these two guys. Are right up there with Vaquan to show Kimbrough as some of the greatest amateur boxers of all time. But what makes Sammy so special is that I remember when Roy Jones Jr. first came here to promote a fight at the Hilton Hotel, and he did a pro-am. And Sammy came with about 5 bus loads, and you could see Roy Jones smiling. He says, wow, I can make some money because of this guy, man. And Roy Jones been here ever since. And I always tell Andreas, he's my favorite fighter of all time. I think the greatest fighter of all time is Rocky Marciano. Nobody went to the body like Rocky, and that's what Andreas does. He'll knock you out with a body shot, and I love it.
Well, once again, since Smoky Jim Frazier is one of my best friends, I don't want anybody to really think he's an idiot. He knows that Ben Roethlisberger is not a great quarterback. He knows that Ray Lewis is not the best NFL player ever, and he sure as hell knows that Vaquan Kimbrough couldn't fight his way out of a kindergarten class. He was pretty, but he couldn't fight, and all he did was spend his entire life running away from Monty Clay, making sure that they were never in the same ring together, not even in the same building together. Not to have any opinion on him.
Sammy, where are you going next?
Right now, there's nothing on the cards right now. I want to fight in December, so I'm looking for a fight in December to come back. So hopefully that will come through. If not, I mean, I'm sure something will come up. I mean, I'm starting to become a target a little bit, I think, and also somebody to run away from too. So I mean, it's tough to get fights, but yet if I want to fight, I can be an opponent somewhere else. I'm sure. Mm-hmm. But I mean, if I need to make that step to showcase my skills and to let people know that I'm, the next contender or the next champion, then I'm going to have to do that to get the eyes.
One of your biggest fans here was talking about the name Spadafora. Is that even a possibility?
No. I don't think. I mean, he
was getting crazy here at the end of the show, or after we had our show.
Oh, yeah.
So I had to at least ask you. He said, make sure you bring that up next week.
No. He was at the fights. He came to the fights, support all of us. I mean, he's a great guy. I mean, he came in the ring, shook his hand. We talked to us a little bit. He fights at a lower weight class, 135, 140. So I mean, I'm not. He's doing his path right now. I'm going my own path. We're both guys. If I could learn from him, that'd be great. And that's what I'm looking forward to. So hopefully he shows me things not to do, the wrong things and then the right things, So, I look up to him in that aspect. So,
there's a huge experience difference there. I mean,
I understand.
It would be a great win for Sammy, but for Paul it would be a no-win situation.
Well, we already know Sammy has trouble trying to schedule these fights. He wants to fight almost every month.
That's because he keeps putting these things up on YouTube. These guys are going to watch that.
It's not me. It's not me.
Yeah, stop putting the knockout punch in there, both of you. Andreas, you can't put the knockout punch on YouTube. You got to take that off.
Take it off.
Just have a phantom punch that he just went down.
Somebody else already put it upside. I don't know.
Well, we'll talk about it at the Gyro Shop. We're in Peters Township or something.
Yeah.
Are you working this week? I heard you're off.
No, yeah, I'm off still. I'm gonna focus on training for a little bit. So.
Well, what's your trainer Muscle say about that? The gyro sandwiches are the best for training?
Muscles doesn't mind it. Yeah, I mean, I don't think I've brought too many gyros to the gym. So.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to check because I found out a good friend of mine had Muscles as his bodyguard. Now, this friend of mine, Luke Doyle, is 6'2". And he said, I have the smallest bodyguard in the world. He goes, when you go talk to Muscles, he'll tell you that that's the truth. Muscles just verified that's the truth.
Yeah.
So you got the best trainer around that I know.
Hey, the bigger they are, the harder they fall.
That's right.
All right.
Absolutely.
Muscles taught you well.
Hey, guys, well, thanks for coming up, and we'll keep watching, keep
Yeah.
following.
Thank
Keep
Thank you
following
for having
the
us.
careers.
Congratulations.
Appreciate it.
You guys are
Congratulations.
awesome.
Hey, I can't shake your hand from there, but Team
Anything we can do to help
Vasquez.
you out.
Thank you very much for having us. I
All
appreciate
right,
it.
guys. Have a
And good luck to you guys. Great job.
And well, speaking of Muscles, next up we're going to bring up Mr. Bob Healy, also known as Muscles. Muscles, come on on.
What's up, guys?
Long time no see.
Good evening. Good to see you.
exactly.
All right, so you guys are pretty successful there. Andreas, you're still training, Andreas?
Yeah,
Tell us a little bit about the fight and what you saw.
it went pretty much the way I expected. Andreas, a debut fight, you were asking me earlier about, finding guys, what kind of guy you're looking for in his first fight. And actually, with these guys, it's like, sort of begging somebody to get in the ring with them. Andreas, we went through 7 different guys before we find a guy that Greg Serb thought would be worthy of fighting Andreas. And then, another guy seen him on YouTube and didn't want to fight and blah, blah, blah. And then this guy turned up, we end up with a tough customer. And, Andreas did, what he does. He went to the tank, worked him over. The guy was tough, and but he got him out of it a beautiful shot like, you guys know he can deliver. And then with Sammy, it's funny talking about YouTube, but he had to take all his stuff off of YouTube because nobody would fight him or they wanted, preposterous amounts of money to fight him, just because you watch him and you say, oh my, look at this guy, he's fast, both hands, he can take you out of there, he's a southpaw, he ain't scared of nobody, so. But yeah, it went about the way I expected. We were hoping that Sammy's guy could have gave him some more rounds. It's funny, like he's, what's next? People ask what's next for him, and it's like, well, maybe you can go up to an 8-rounder. And it's like, well, Sam said, well, I can't even get, past the first round. So
That's a good thing, though.
yeah, and that's not his fault. I mean,
That's
he goes
good.
he goes out there and takes care of business, and
What happens, what happens.
it's going to happen. Yeah, but these guys, he was talking about 2 clean living kids, respectful, crowd friendly. I mean, these guys take the time. The role models in the gym for the younger boxers. I mean, you see the way the kids swarm around them. I mean, these are just 2 great kids, and when they get in the ring, they're tigers. And yeah, I'm just real proud of them and real happy to be working with both of them. I mean, I can't say more about it.
Okay, so for Andreas, this was his first pro fight. What are you looking for his next fight?
Well, I mean, we just got to keep him in the gym. Like I say, because he was off for a little while. He was over in Greece, and he was here and there. But, I mean, his focus has been great since he's been back. And, just got to get him some more work. Like I say, he hadn't had a whole lot of rounds. And this guy come out, and he was a, KG veteran. But he handled it. He handled it well.
Who said that?
I'll tell you what. On that note, we've had sparring sessions in the gym that people would be happy to pay to see.
Put it on YouTube.
Oh, I mean, these guys, yeah, I mean, great friends. But I'll tell you what, they give each other great work when they get together in the gym. But yeah, we just keep Andreas in the gym, and yeah, something will come up for him. And we'll let this video stay on YouTube for about a week and get it off of there, and then we'll start looking for an opponent. And like Sammy, you know, the first thing that the matchmaker said when his fight was over, he goes, well, there you go. There goes the price of the next opponent, and finding one. Good luck, because you take a 6-1 guy out with 6 KOs out in the first 2 minutes.
Wow.
He goes, you know, that complicates things. But and we're at the point now where Sam, you know, we got to get some money behind him, because it's going to take some money to get him them fights he needs to get people in the ring with him. And I know he said he's going to be an opponent somewhere. He's never going to be an opponent. You know, he's always going to be the man. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, you have any other guys, the amateur guys that you are happy with?
I got my nephew who just turned 17, who's Matt Conway, who's going to be fighting in the Golden Gloves this year.
Yeah.
He's probably got 100-some bouts under his belt. You know, as a young, as a junior, but he's moving up into the Open, and he's a really good prospect. He'll fight for a state Golden Gloves title this year. And I think he has a real good chance of doing it.
Okay, what weight class?
He's under 32-pounder. You know, he's Baldwin High School's team wrestling captain. You know, so
yeah.
Hey, I'm a Baldwin High School alum.
Right.
Send
Right
Chip
over
down
my
to
high
the
school.
gym.
There you go.
And his brother Mike was the captain last year. You know,
There you
yeah, their
go.
brother Jack's here. That's my chauffeur.
There you go.
And he's an Army Guard guy. Yeah, he always he does a lot of explaining behind the scenes to all the guard guys for Sammy.
You said you're trying to pull an investor group together.
Well,
Or
I
are
mean,
you just looking preliminary.
I'm amazed that people aren't knocking the door down for Sam. You know, especially with his amateur pedigree. You know what he's been doing at that pro training camp with Adrian Broner. I mean, being the Olympic trials, being a couple-time national champion, and I think that the guys that finally latch on to him are going to be happy, and the guys that missed the boat are going to be real unhappy. And there's a lot of people interested in Sam, but
good.
Money talks and bullshit walks. They got to step up. And
This isn't your first rodeo.
no. And Sam's a family man now, so he's going to take care of business. But the focus is there. I mean, he's just so. He always had it. There's a kid that never mailed it in. Every fight he ever showed up for, he came to win. Every tournament he ever went to, he came to win. He's the most talented kid I've seen, in my 40-some years involved in boxing in this city. And now he's at a level even surpassed that, where the seriousness, the kid wants to be a world champion and a millionaire, and I can't blame him. And he can do it.
And you know what? The way he's doing things the right way, he will be there.
Right.
He'll get there.
And I'll tell you what, one thing, when I was younger, I coached my boys in baseball and hockey and soccer, and one of those things was always a pain was dealing with the parents. One thing about coaching boxing, usually you don't have that problem because the kids are thumbing their way to the gym or the parents drop them off. If you're going to let them box, they usually ain't too worried about them, except for Andreas' mom. But, as far as the support, what Big Sam does for young Sam, promoting these 2 shows out of nowhere, the guy knew nothing about promoting. I'm talking about hustling, going into every bar in Essen and, dragging people off the bar stool and bringing them to the fight, and promoting his son. Unbelievable support group. And, and that's why Sam's the way he is, because of the upbringing he had with his father. I mean, he's, grateful for everything.
He's amazing.
The old man is amazing.
Shout out to Sammy's father. Yeah.
Big Sam.
Thanks. I got one more question for you, because you've been in boxing a lot around Pittsburgh. These 2 guys, they're better than Praquan Quimbo, right?
We're going to break that. Hold on.
And
We'll
Paul
break that
Spadafore,
commercial
too.
right now. Let's go to that commercial break. Take that commercial.
John Ledasky grew up with Paul Spadafore. He always likes to kid me and pretend like Paul could have beat some of these guys. It would never happen. But, right, John? Hey, by the way, remember John?
Yeah, what happened with him? Did he
fought his last
retire?
fight. He won the belt.
No.
And I told him, that's it, John. You're done. You're a coach now. Masters
Muscle.
Division champ.
Look at the smile.
We're out on top. Good
Johnny,
for
that's
you. Good for you.
Oh, did he
Right on
smile
top.
in there?
He did. He fought a tough guy from Altoona, and he beat him.
in
And
2 months.
his wife and his dad were there, and they both said, "You better tell him this is the last time." I said, "I've been telling him."
Happy wife, happy life.
Always a lot.
Yes.
Always, every time. Well, thanks for coming up. Thank you very much.
No, appreciate it, guys.
Thanks, Muscles.
Thanks.
Good
Thanks
luck
for
to you.
having us.
Hey, man.
Thanks for having us. And,
Keep doing what you're doing.
Greatest trainer on the planet.
Good luck to you, bodyguard. I may need one.
Hey, Johnny may have retired. Hey, Muscles, Johnny may have retired, but I'm going to bring Vaquan to show Kimborough out of retirement. Have you train him, man.
I'd like to see the Quan come out of retirement. Yeah, I would like to match him up with Tika Hemingway. But I'm sure she would beat him like a dog. And she's almost as pretty as he is. Well, our next guest up, we've got athletic director from Robert Morris, Mr. Marty Galosi. Marty, come on up, tell us what's going on.
$2,000 suit, I like that.
2,500. 2,500 this year.
Just trying to keep up with you guys.
Whoa. The Ohio State.
Okay, Marty, you're athletic director for Robert Morris. Tell us what's going on there.
You gave me a little bit of a promotion.
Well,
Senior Associate Athletic Director. That's close
all right,
enough.
you know.
What's going on at Robert Morris? Just finished our fall athletic season. Football season not so good, 4-7, but looking forward to next year. Of course, Joe Walton, people know that name from his days as the Steelers offensive coordinator. He started the program at Robert Morris in '94. He's still our coach. He's going to be our coach for one more year. And after the 2013 season, another familiar name to people in these parts, John Banaszak, who's been our assistant head coach for several years. He's our coach in waiting. He'll take over as the head coach after the 2013 season. And a big-name transfer coming in for those who follow high school football, Paul Jones, quarterback from Stowe Rocks. He's transferring out of Penn State, coming to Robert Morris next year, and eligible immediately, and I think we can use him.
He's I think he's the only player in Stowe Rock's history that was academically eligible to play college.
You didn't say that this past year. Wait a second.
He's
I
a
got
great
notes
kid.
on that.
He really comes with a lot of a real good reputation behind him, a good, solid young man, and we've heard he's a beast on the football field.
Yes,
big and strong.
How many seasons are you going to get out of him? Is he?
I believe I can't be for sure. I think he's only used one at Penn State. I think we have him. I think we have him for 3, but I'm not exactly
Great.
sure. So
That's great.
just
Well,
looking
good
forward to
luck.
one.
Great.
Yeah, sure. Build on that.
And right into the basketball season, Colonials off to a 3-3 start, becoming a mid-major power. A lot of people taking notice of Robert Morris basketball. Started off the season in the preseason NIT, played down at Pitt, played Lehigh, and lost to them, got our first win against Fordham, and have won 3 in a row now, last week beating Bowling Green and Cleveland State, and playing tonight. So continuing on what we hope will be a Northeast Conference championship and another trip to the NCAA tournament for RMU Hoops. And hockey season going on right now too, and just getting started into the men's hockey season.
Well, yeah, if you want to see hockey in Pittsburgh, go down to Neville Island to the Ice Arena.
That's about the only place right now.
Where can we get your schedule at?
See hockey.
RMUcolonials.com. Yes, Robert Morris Hockey, our 8th year of NCAA Division I play, and we're, again, the only hockey going on in Pittsburgh right now. If you're looking for a more central location, though, December 28th and 29th at the Consol Energy Center, the inaugural Three Rivers Classic, Robert Morris, Penn State, which is a first-year program, Miami of Ohio, which is ranked 4th in the country, and Ohio State coming into the Consol Energy Center December 28th and 29th for the Three Rivers Classic. And then the big event in April, Robert Morris, the host school for the NCAA Division I Men's Ice Hockey Frozen Four National Championship, coming to Pittsburgh.
Had a dime for some hockey.
A lot of big games played in Pittsburgh, but never had a champion crowned in this city. Since 1960 and Bill Mazeroski's home run. So there'll be an NCAA champion crowned in Consol Energy Center April 13th of 2013, and Robert Morris is the host institution.
Wouldn't it be great if they made it to the finals?
That would be something. That would be quite a show. We have our work cut out for us right now, just trying to plan all the details. A lot of the events that go along with the Frozen Four. A lot of an event that I think people would be interested in. It's called Frozen Fest. It's an outdoor college hockey experience. Be held at the old Mellon Arena site. The days of the two games on April 11th and 13th. Come on down. It's free. Chance to have some interactive games for the kids and see the red carpet arrivals. That's pretty cool. When the teams come in, they get off the buses, they go into the arena on red carpets. And if you've never seen college hockey, check it out, because we know the NHL game, and it's got a strong foothold here in southwestern Pennsylvania. College hockey, not so much, but there will be people at that event from North Dakota to Denver. They don't care if their team's in it or not. They'll be in Pittsburgh, they'll be partying, and they'll be watching college hockey for 2 days. It's a great event.
I love it.
I've watched a lot of college hockey games. I think it's a lot of fun to watch. It's not exactly the same as the NHL, of course, but it's a lot of fun to watch college hockey.
No question. There's a certain kind of enthusiasm that you see that sometimes you don't see in the pros. The kids are playing for the love of the game, and they're putting all 100% into every shift.
Yeah, I've been to 5 Frozen Fours, and without fail, you'll see people there, guys with Johnstown Chiefs jerseys and tape around the middle of their glasses.
The
Hanson brothers.
Hanson
Yeah,
brothers.
they don't care. They'll be here. Doesn't matter what schools are in it, and they'll be here. Boston College, if you're wondering about powerhouses in college hockey, they've won 3 of the last 5 national championships, and they're currently ranked #1 in the country.
So, which teams would you expect to be in the Final Four? You brought up Boston College, Boston University is usually here, North Dakota, Minnesota. What schools do you?
You hit some of the big ones besides Robert Morris.
Of course, naturally a host. But.
New Hampshire has a real good team this year. University of Denver, as I mentioned, Miami of Ohio. Colorado College. Those are some of the bigger schools having good seasons. But you hit on some of the biggies. You always have the Michigans and the Michigan States in the running. So we're looking forward to it. It's a great event for Pittsburgh, a first of its kind, and we're just happy at Robert Morris that we could bring it here. And it's ironic that it's in a lockout season. I mean, we have a great partner with the Pittsburgh Penguins who helped us bring this event to Pittsburgh, along with Consol Energy Center and Visit Pittsburgh. And I know people are dying to get the sport back, and it doesn't look so good right now. But hopefully they get that turned around. But in the meantime, you can come out to Neville Island, check out college hockey. We have Ohio State coming in a week from Saturday on December the 8th, and then again the tournament at the end of the month, and then. After the first of the year, our conference has teams like UConn, Sacred Heart, Mercyhurst. So it's good. It's good hockey. It's really good hockey. You see some good players.
And the Penguins should be able to give you a lot more help this year because they ain't doing anything else.
And Marty, what are your ticket prices so all these Hockey Star fans can pack the arena?
Well, pretty reasonable. At Neville Island, you can get a ticket for as low as $9. That's not too bad, and free parking.
Whoa!
There you go.
Tickets are a little more expensive for the Three Rivers Classic, but very reasonable. If you know where the Island Sports Center is, the Army Island Sports Center out on Grand Avenue, come on out and see us. It's good. It's good hockey.
Say free parking.
We'll be there.
I don't know about the game. I'm going to start parking there for a while.
You give out free French fries and Alan's there.
How long can you park there?
I'm a friend for life.
And Marty, you hosted a good event that I went to last year when my cousin was coaching the Pitt D1 team there. I saw some great hockey. I was down near the glass, and there was a nice crowd, a lot of excitement with the local teams. And I didn't get to meet you that day, but my sister spoke highly of you, said what a gentleman and a nice guy you are.
She said you were up there eating some popcorn and enjoying some hockey. We had 3 games that day. We had women's hockey and of course the club game against Pitt, and then Robert Morris against Ohio State. So great venue. Obviously, a lot of you have been there. Great venue, and we can't wait to bring the country, the college hockey community into Consol Energy Center. In April, the Frozen Four was held in, of all places, does anybody know? Tampa.
Tampa.
No.
Tampa, Florida.
That's always perplexed me how you move a northeast regional sport down into the sunny state of Florida.
Hockey in flip-flops and shorts. It wasn't bad. I kind of liked it. It was 89 degrees when I got off the plane. But I know a lot of the Northeast and the upper Midwest people are really excited about it coming to Pittsburgh. So we're going to have probably 13 to 15,000 unique visitors coming to Pittsburgh. We're hoping it's about $11 to $13 million hit for the economy. That's all good stuff for our region, and it's a great way to show off Pittsburgh to one more market, and we'll show it to college hockey fans.
Maybe we'll do our show out of one of those games in April. Maybe the spring bowl show out there.
We'd love to.
All right. Well, Marty, thanks a lot. You guys, if you're dying for hockey like I am, college hockey, you don't have all the big names like Sidney Crosby or Jenny Malkin, but it's like equally matched teams, and these guys are playing hard. And they're playing because they love the sport. They're not getting paid nearly as much as those guys. But depending on what schools you go to, I imagine Ohio State pays their hockey team. But they said it's a lot of fun to watch. If you get a chance, go on out and watch these guys. Any more questions, guys?
He answered them all. Thanks,
right.
Marty.
No, Marty, that's
Appreciate
great.
it. Thanks. Good luck to you.
We'll talk to you soon. All right. Well, as you guys have seen, my pick for college basketball champion, Indiana, still undefeated. What do they have, like 3 games, I think? 3-0. Pitt just suspended their guard for DUI. Suspended him indefinitely, which I'd imagine would mean until they play Howard in a couple of days. But
well, he wasn't really driving under the influence. He was sound asleep at the intersection behind the wheel of the vehicle. So
then, see, I have to appeal that. As far as that's just a parking violation. If his car wasn't moving, it's just a parking violation. I would definitely.
Unfortunate for him and the rest of the Pittsburgh public, it wasn't moving because it could have been a lot uglier.
I'll bet he could have to play for the Steelers to get past that suspension.
Years ago, that would have never made the news, so he would have never got in trouble.
And also on that note, Pitt suspended a red-shirted freshman defensive back for a domestic violence beef that happened the night before that. So, Pitt needs to clean up its act a little bit. It's getting the kind of publicity that it doesn't want to have.
Let me ask, Jim, what does red shirt mean?
He's wearing one.
Right? What's that mean? When an athlete's red-shirted, what's that mean?
Well, it usually means that they didn't play their freshman year because they maybe wasn't physically able to perform, or they wanted to get a 5th year in where they could play a little bit
Exactly.
better.
So if he's red-shirted, he's not playing. How do you suspend a guy that's not playing?
There you go.
Well, they didn't suspend him. They kicked him off the team. So I guess he's not going to get to get a chance to play.
He won't go to the bowl. Oh, Pitt ain't going this year.
Oh, hey, Mike.
He may be playing for Gateway next year.
We'll take him. We'll rehabilitate him.
Sure.
Is there an opening?
Make one. All right. Well, Jim, you've got a friend here today. Can help us talk a little bit about boxing. Why don't you introduce her? Miss Heather, come on.
Oh, hey, Miss Heather!
How you going to forget her?
He forgot he brought you here.
Where's that bracelet, Chip?
Hey, guys.
Hey, Miss Heather.
It's good to see you again, Heather.
Welcome back.
Good to see y'all, too.
Now, you've been around boxing here locally for some time.
For some time. I
seen
can't wait. I'm
Andreas
so
and
excited. It's
Sammy?
starting in February. I can't wait.
The Golden Gloves.
I can't wait. I love those kids. They got so much heart. I love them.
And you've seen Sammy and Andreas fight?
No.
Never?
Well, yeah, I saw them today on the video, but
Okay.
I'm excited to see them fight and their future fights. I love boxing. So exciting.
So with the Golden Gloves coming up in February, who do you like? Who are your favorite amateur boxers?
Well, is Matt still fighting?
Yes, Matt Conway is
Matt
my
Conway,
favorite, too.
He's one of my favorites. Fred. I don't know if Fred's still fighting.
Freddie Lake?
In the
did he
amateur.
go
Yeah, Freddie turned pro.
He
Freddie
got-
turned pro.
Pro fight.
Yeah, he turned pro.
No, where are the Golden Gloves going to be? If you wanted to go watch the fights.
I don't know where they're going to be this year.
Yeah, they
move
move
around.
around quite a bit.
Yeah.
Run. Jimmy Savetic, runs that organization. He moves around a little bit. He gets a lot of different fights right down here on 88. He goes to the Royal Place.
Okay.
Probably about once a month.
All right.
Yeah, like I say, they find different venues. Usually the least expensive place that he can get into, or whoever will give him the most money to be there. That's where Jimmy goes. It's all for the kids, though. It's always for the kids.
Wherever they are, I will be there.
And one great thing about boxing, there's no cowards in boxing. When you get between those ropes, you're going to have some great trainers, but they can't help you. So those guys, there's no fear. They got a lot of heart. I got big respect for boxers.
No cowards. No draft dodgers.
Ding, ding. Ding, ding. Ding, ding. Heather, how long have you been helping announce fights?
A few years.
What's that, 3 years?
About 3 years.
Ah.
Yeah.
And you do it with Jim.
With Jim.
Is he any good?
He's the best. I will not commentate ringside with anyone else.
There you go.
Thank you,
Jim.
Miss Heather. You got me. You can't tell, but I'm blushing.
It's all that red gear you have
It's the
on.
jacket.
It's the
I
red
can't
light.
see.
It's the
Look,
red
hit
light
the
above
light.
us.
Can you get a
It's
close-up?
the jacket. It's the jacket.
And that hat's a little low. He's covering those blushing cheeks. Look at him. Miss Heather, you did it again.
Well, speaking of commentating with Jim, we were offered on Thanksgiving the opportunity to commentate for the Three Rivers explosion.
Really?
Really? Yeah, so we're going to have to get to talk to Mr. Bobby Gold. They're going to want us to go down.
Didn't Thanksgiving already happen?
Yeah, that was just this past Thanksgiving.
Oh.
That was the day. That was the day they asked us to do it.
He was too busy eating at Heinz Field.
We're going to actually have to wait till the season starts before we can begin.
Oh, okay. He made the offer on Thanksgiving.
Oh.
You didn't invite a brother over.
He knew you were eating all day Friday.
Everybody got the invitation but me.
You're standing in line to get into Heinz Field.
We were eating turkey, not chicken.
Ouch. He sounds like Terry Bradshaw.
Hey, as long as you deep fry the turkey, man, it's all right, brother.
It wasn't
had it.
breaded.
It's excellent.
Sorry. So, ready? All right. Well, thanks for coming down to Level 20. Thought it was a great show tonight. Loved having the boxers on. Loved having the young ladies on. Marty Galosi's always a great guest. And, well, Miss Heather Smith Heather. And, Jim's favorite. Ask him, he'll tell you. And we'll see you next week, Level 20 Lounge.
All right.